Hi there, fellow exiles and travelers. LuminousHank here, and I'm back with the Blast Rain Marksman Ignite build guide update. I know you guys have been waiting for this build. A few of you have texted me about the planner, but yeah, I have been slow with the build on making the build. Now there are a lot of changes I made since I theory crafted this build before 1.0. And we are going to be discussing the changes I made. I will also be giving out the build planner in the description of the video, and you guys can make the build easily with that. And you already saw the gameplay before, so that gameplay does not include the min-max gear that I have stated in the build planner. So it's the build in that gameplay is not the max potential of the build. Now moving on to the passives, I've changed a few nodes from the last time in the passive tree. Like for example, we have more dexterity nodes, because I forgot to mention in the last video, since I was still theory crafting the build. It seems that explosive traps and both detonating arrow scales directly with dexterity. So yeah, to increase that base damage, we are taking a shit ton of dexterity. We will have close to 100 dexterity in this build from skill tree and gear combined. Additionally, I have lowered the points on elemental arrow, just one, and I've taken Storm Fletcher to gain increased elemental damage. We have taken concentration for 120% increased damage, a bit of cooldown, and the movement speed with concentration. That's very important. Sharpshooter, very important for damage. This one gives us critical strike chance, and this one is for multiplier. This one is for critical strike avoidance and multiplier of both defensive and offensive node. This one inflicts critical vulnerability to enemies, which of course makes them take more critical strikes. Moving on to the rogue's base skill tree. Here we have taken dexterity again, and evasion and agility. This one gives us more damage per per movement speed. And this one gives us less damage and makes us take less damage while moving. We are mostly gonna be moving here, so this one gives us a glancing blow chance, which is great defense. So combined with everything, oh wait, I have switched from Wilderness Scout to Raptor's Wings here in the Falconer tree, just to gain more haste. We are gonna have haste always in this build. We are always gonna be having that increased movement speed and increased damage. So that basically covers the updated skill tree for the Ignite Marksman. Alright, now moving on to the skills. We have +2 to fire skills here on our bow. We're using Dragon Song, which is why we have 23 explosive traps instead of 21. So let's go inside the explosive trap and see what nodes we have taken. We are not using the impact trigger, okay? If you use impact trigger, the detonating arrows won't work, which is why we are using Blast Rain only from this area, and we're using clustered explosives, and we're also using Trap Sprinkler along with Trapuchet. Using Trapuchet just flings the extra traps at enemies, We have the increased damage with this, and of course a very important note, arrow traps, which will fire the detonating arrows on explosive trap detonation, and basically increased scaling of damage with dexterity for the arrows fired. Additionally, we have taken mana efficiency for this, more mana efficiency. Also, smoke traps. This thing is very important, okay? This thing grants you Dust Shroud every time your traps explode. So it says explosive traps have a chance to grant you a stack of Dust Shroud. This chance increases for each second it spends arming. Well, to be honest, even if you spam your explosive trap, you're gonna get shit ton of stacks of dust shroud. Okay, and this is very defensive. It makes your offense your like you know how what they say about raiders. Your offense is the well, not raider. This is not path of exile. Okay, you're rogue. You're gonna say no, it's not a raider. Yeah, it's a rogue. But yeah, in this case, your offense is your best defense. Moving on to the detonating arrow. We are using mana arrow as we discussed. Nothing much changed here. We are using mana arrow and we are using dragon arrow, barrage. Only we have taken fast shot, okay? I also want to play a bit with the ignite because we are scaling this build heavily with fire damage, which is why the ignite will deal a lot of damage. This is why I have taken some ignite nodes along with deadly ailments, which increase our damage over time. So it will be an extra tad bit of damage. You have 23 points. The most important node here is mana arrow and barrage and dragon arrow. So the detonating arrow scales directly with fire instead of lightning. Smoke bomb basically buffs you and debuffs enemies. It cleanses all negative elements on you. It gives you silver shroud. It also, you see, like what I was saying. If you smoke bomb in front of an enemy and the enemy is covered in your smoke, they will have fatality. And basically, there's you want the smoke cloud to last longer, and that's why lingering fumes. Shift a skill with the same manner. We don't need this, by the way. Yeah, we don't need this node, okay? We do not need that node. You can take that node away and put it anywhere. Like, you can place it here. We don't need this. I use this first in the node, in the game, and it sucks. Because every time you're using shurikens, and then you dash, these 4 or 5 shurikens disappear, only 1 shuriken's left. So unless you can add all the 5 nodes here, you should not take it. I chose other nodes which will give me more defenses, like cleansing ailments, giving me health, like using health potion, auto health potion and all. So yeah, it's your choice. If you want to take points away from these and want to slot your points here, feel free to. Then you don't have to press one button. But I prefer pressing one extra button here. Shurikens, I've taken the pierce. So, your shurikens can pierce and keep moving around you. We have taken chance to blind. It's very important. Debuffing enemies, like they will miss shots on you. These are basically the most important ones. Oh, wait, not the most important. The most important one is the blade shield's longevity and the armor. You'll have 30% increased armor per shuriken on you. So it's a win-win situation. It's a bit buff on you and a bit debuff on enemy. It's good. Additionally, we are going to use decoy, okay? Because we're not really we're not gonna have detonating arrow on the bar. We're gonna have what we have here: decoy, smoke bomb, shurikens, shift, and explosive traps. We are not gonna trigger our detonating arrow manually. It will trigger with explosive traps. So yeah, we are not using ballista. It was really a bad idea to scale ballista with this build. It was really bad. Now moving on to the gear. We are using Peak of the Mountain helmets. Okay, it's very good if you want critical strikes. Like it increases your critical strike chance, and I recommend using this. And you can, if you get it with 2 LP, like this one, you can get endurance and dexterity on it. Dragon Song, very important. You will have +2 fire skills, increase base critical strike chance with fire skills, and of course, chance to cast Dragonfire. Now, Dragonfire is very good. It scales directly with fire damage, so it deals shit ton of damage to enemies, as you saw in the gameplay. We have Prism Warps, which increases our elemental damage, and we take less elemental damage, which is a good defensive armor, like defensive affix. And we also have increased critical strike chance, and also 3 to 8% of our elemental damage is leached when we crit. But oh well, you cannot leech health from critical strikes, but that's all right. We will still have leech from the passive. Don't worry about it. Now, talking about Omnis, okay, you will have a bit of delay before you get Omnis. So I would suggest like stack your amulet with resistances before you get Omnis, because you will have to kill Orbis in minimum 200 corruption to get this amulet. As it already says, you have to be in the shade of Orbis, and you have to kill Orbis, and only then it has a chance of dropping. So it's a bit grindy to get. The helmet you might get in your first dungeon, like Lightless Harbor dungeon, or maybe like you'll definitely drop in like 2 or 3 runs. I was very lucky. I dropped it in my first run, and it came with 2 LP, so it was really great. The Dragon Song, you can farm it in Fall of the Outcast. You should really go COF, like Circle of Fortune, and get the prophecies, and yeah, you can farm it from Fall of the Outcast Monolith. However, I got mine with 1 LP from Rune of Ascendance. So yeah, it was extremely lucky for me, but I'm gonna make a video about how to use Rune of Ascendance to get your desired uniques very early in the game, okay? Now, the rest of the gear is all exalted. I have taken defensive affixes and a lot of dexterity and mana regen and flat mana. Both the rings have increased fire damage. One is exalted, one is the other one is not. I've taken exalted dexterity there. As you can see, we have 91 dexterity right now in the build. For boots, you can or cannot like decide to take that experimental perk. It's not extremely necessary. You don't really need to take it, but it's good if you can manage to get that. You need to take a lot of flat health and hybrid health, not flat. Hybrid health to increase your health pool, okay? Now, if you want to be squishy, you can be squishy. You can overlook that. But I have made the build with cap resistances, a lot of endurance, and dodge rating and lancing blow chance to, make you guys more defensive. On the other hand, you'll also have a lot of DPS to shred enemies. You can you can thoroughly go through the gear in the build planner. I'll post the link down below in the description. Idols, when it comes to idols, it's just increased health and elemental resistances mostly in the large shadow idol, and the small Lagonian idol, which has increased health and flat health. However, Throne of Ambition is kind of important because you will have 20 stacks of ambition when you hit a rare enemy, and per stack you'll have 2% more fire damage. So you will have increased damage per stack. It's just it just works against rare enemies and bosses, but it's still good. It's a huge damage buff. When it comes to blessings, you don't have to care about the drop rate and increased experiences, but yeah, you need this critical strike multiplier. You need shred fire resistance. It's very important. You also if you want physical resistance to completely be capped with your blessing, go for this. I very much recommend this. If you have mana problems, this one is very good. I have increased bow drop rate here because I need bows for LP. And there's also this. You have 70% critical strike avoidance. Amazing perk. You should definitely go for this. You will not die. With all these defensive layers, you cannot die. Nobody can one-shot you at least. So that covers the gearing and blessings and idols. But yeah, I have this notepad where about what you should look for in gear, even for LP. So I have this. I'll have this in my Discord So if you want this, you can join the Discord server. And I have some more other utilities about this build in the Discord server. You can join and have a look at it. Now, that's how the build would work. Hopefully, if you make the build, it's gonna do great. And yeah, do let me know if you're making it. I stream on Twitch every day. Hop onto my Twitch channel and you can ask me if you have any questions at all about the build. And you can also join my Discord server. We can hang out there and you can ask me anything. And you can also have a look at my build section and utilities section for Last Epoch and Path of Exile. That will be all. Hope to see you in my stream or the Discord. So, and if you liked the video or if you're enjoying the build and making it, do leave a subscribe in the channel too. And that will be all. See ya.